Hi there, Gareth. Hi, Vicky. It's Lester from Adoratis Marketing here. The reason I know about you guys is I interviewed with Caroline several months ago. She was absolutely fantastic here in the Plymouth branch that you guys have, or in Plimpton. And then I saw about 2 weeks ago that you were at the Devon Business Show. So I just took it upon myself really to see how you guys were doing in terms of ranking on your websites, what you're doing great, maybe things that could be improved to really help maybe grow that company into the vision that perhaps the two of you set when you first started. So basically, after I did some research, and I'm going to show you that research in a moment, I was very, very excited, and I have no doubt you'll share my excitement at the potential growth that could happen with BigAnt even in the next 6 months. So I thought, why not delve in? So first of all, I think the most important thing looking at your website is that it's very, very attractive, but it's just not being found at the moment. There are more clients than you could ever imagine looking for your services each and every month, and I'm going to show you how many in a second. But at the moment, you're not getting a penny of business from them simply because you're not being found. So I want to just show you really how that can change. Whether you use our services or not, you'll be getting something out of this. So let's look in terms of monetary value, what's happening to the companies who are ranking at the top of Google at the moment. So this is data from Google itself here, general search volume, and this is per month. So we know that when it comes to people looking for a recruitment agency in Plymouth, we've got around about 590 people every single month, and that's unique visitors looking for that service. Now, of course, not all of those are going to be clients. Many of those will be candidates. So just to be really conservative with these figures, we can just divide these figures by 4 if that maybe makes this a little bit more accurate for you. But still, it gives you a ballpark idea of the kind of revenue that a company like BigAnt should be earning each and every month. So for the companies that rank at the top, we know that on average, around about 40 to 42% of the people searching this original term will click on the first link on Google. So that would equate here, just for this one keyword, 248 visitors. Now, according to Monster Jobs, the average placement fee is about £4,500. I decided to be a little bit more conservative, seeing as we are in Plymouth, but again, it's probably best if you just pop your own figure in there to calculate potentially how much business you guys could be getting should you hold the top spot for some of these keywords here. And we know, just based on experience, but also just raw data across the board, that you'd be looking at around about 10% of those to convert into actual leads. Now, providing that you fill all of those leads, that would equate to then approximately £99,000 in revenue for that month. These might seem like silly numbers at first, but I'm just going to show you a few case studies at the end of this video as to why that's just not the case. You know, we're not just licking our finger and putting it in the air and guessing these numbers. This is based on real data. So we know then that if you were to rank number 1 for all of these, again putting it through the same process, the same calculations, there's a potential almost £200,000 of revenue that could be missed out on. Now let's just be uber conservative and divide this by 4, and let's say that only a quarter of the people looking at actual new clients looking for your service. That's still a very, very healthy figure that I think we'd agree would be lovely if they came into your pocket, because the truth of the matter to both of you is that someone is getting this revenue, and at the moment it's not you. But I'm just going to show you a few reasons as to why that could be very, very soon. So let's look at some of your competitors then. Who is holding this top spot at the moment? If I were to type in one of these keywords, recruitment agency Plymouth, so we know around about 590 people looking for this each month, we can see that Jones Recruitment holds the top spot at the moment. Now if we were to look at their website, something quite scary emerges here is that their website, you'll see, is nowhere near as aesthetically pleasing as yours is. But to some extent that's irrelevant. I mean, granted, being kind to Barbara, the owner, does look like it was made in 1865. So just looking at this, I could see that this wouldn't be converting the kind of levels that we just spoke about in this template here, because the website's not up to date. It's not aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't ring true to the brand that Jones Recruitment probably is. And if it does, then there's probably other problems there. But let's look into the back end of the Jones Recruitment website to see what they're doing well. Because we don't want to reinvent the wheel here. We want to see what your competitors are doing well and then just improve on that. And so we can see here, again, the reason I chose the keywords that I mentioned there is I could see that this is what Jones Recruitment were using. So we can see that they're position 6, and this means position 6 in Google. What we really want is to get you into something here called the Google 3-pack. This is what your clients would be using. We want you here in those 3. Again, appearing in this list is also fantastic, but really this is where the majority of the clicks are going to be getting. Here is where 42% of those conversions would be happening. So let's have a look. At the moment we can see that Jones are ranking for some really valuable keywords that's got some healthy volume for the Plymouth local area, which again is then equating to some really great revenue there. Again, on a personal note, I think if Jones Recruitment were to update their website, the figures would improve greatly. But either way, hats off to them, they're holding some great spots. If we compare that to the back end of your website then, you can see at the moment there are a few valuable keywords that are being ranked, but at the moment you won't even be on the first page of Google for those. There we go. So we can see position 9 for BigAnt. Again, there's 170 people per month looking for that. But again, chances are that's not going to be too relevant to your company. Employment agencies Torbay, we're just about position 1, but page 1. But again, we're towards the end. But you can see here that the volume is very, very small. Gap Recruitment Painton, again, the volume's a lot healthier. Again, I think we might just be touching on page 2 there, which again means we're not going to be found again. Recruitment agencies Painton. So we can see that you are ranking for some valuable keywords, just nowhere near in the place where we'd see a dent in your revenue growth. So why is that? Why is it that you're not necessarily holding those positions at the moment? Well, if we use this software here, I've put your website in, the keywords we want to look at, or the key aspects, sorry, are your page titles and your H1 tags. And what this basically means to Google is what markers are you leaving out there at the moment for Google to say, this is clearly a relevant result for one of your potential prospects. And if we look at your page titles, we can see that none of those really hold any of the valuable keywords that we'd really want, the juicy ones that would attract clients. Because someone who was a recruitment consultant in the past, I know firsthand how successful cold calling, emails, sending out CV specs, all of those can be. But it was a heck of a lot nicer when a client would call up and just put a vacancy on the table, and that would allow us to spend more time finding quality candidates as opposed to going out there and find business. And I'm not saying that there's any reason to do one or the other, but if both are working for you, you've just hit the jackpot really, haven't you? Something that I will say as well, as we then look at the Jones Recruitment Agency website, you're going to see very, very quickly why they might be appearing closer to that top spot than yourself in a moment. But something else that's really handy about appearing in the top spot of Google is that you don't just obviously attract those clients, you do just attract better candidates. You know as well as I do at this point that people are beautifully lazy, and if they're looking for a recruitment agency to register with, they're going to click on whatever the first result is, and at the moment that's not, but it could be, of course. So if we look at your page titles, so if we look at Jones Recruitment page titles, we can see here they've got Jobs Plymouth, Recruitment Plymouth. If we click on that, Employment Careers Plymouth, Jones Recruitment Agency Plymouth Devon. So already, just that page title alone, and they've got a few like that, that's still loading, but it's absolutely just bombarded with these wonderful keywords that suddenly are much more relevant for the clients that will be looking for their services, something that BigAnt aren't doing at the moment. Now, of course, we haven't even touched the idea of doing Torbay. This is just Plymouth. And again, going back to what this means in terms of monetary value, even if we were 90% off and you're bringing only £18,000 of extra revenue per month from new inbound clients, but of course, the lifetime value of that is much higher, you can see that's still worth looking at. It's still an incredible return on investment. So this here is just, it gives you an inkling as to some of the things that could be changed that you could probably do yourself right now. And the other 70% of what we do at Adoratis as a recruitment company is being able to build really strong backlinks into the back of your website to make sure that the authority of that website gets improved. So I hope that gives you an inkling as to the power of being towards that top spot. I mean, I know when I used to work for a company called the Recruitment Network as a recruitment consultant, it was really lovely to be able to sell all these features and benefits to new prospects, but also existing clients. But what I loved about when we would rank in the top spot for Google is that was something you could just show off to clients, because whatever other companies might say, that can't be taken from you. Once you're up there and once the work is continuously being done, you can't have two people holding the top spot on Google at the same time. So that is a USP that is just unique to your company in that moment. So I don't know what kind of returns on investment you got at the Denver Business Show. Obviously, there's lots of people there, and I hope you did extremely well. But something that I would certainly suggest is seeing the kind of ROI that investing in SEO could do for you. It would probably be worth us doing a follow-up call at some point, even if it's just implementing some other simple strategies that maybe you guys could do yourself. Again, whether you use our services or not at this point, it's just to show you really how powerful investing in that back end of your website would be for your business. So I hope that's been extremely valuable for you. It's an absolute scorcher out there. I'm probably going to end the day in a moment, but I hope to speak to you soon and have a wonderful day. You take care. Bye.